Live. Yep. Hello, everybody. It's your girl Wong Lorene, and I am back. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today, where I was spotlighting C. Robert Walker. But right now, we're going to ease on into our What's Popping Vegas segment. Due to the current state of our country, we sort of had to a little bit. We're still gonna tell you what's, but it won't be popping. You did. Anyway, I got my girl here with me today, Miss Mimi from Mimi Life Entertainment, and she's
Hey
gonna
y'all.
get today on COVID-19. So go ahead, take it away, Mimi.
Hey y'all. Thanks. Welcome back to my segment, What's Poppin' here on the Wong channel. I'm glad to be joining you guys again here, live streaming on YouTube and Facebook with Cuts Communication. I wanted to talk a little bit today. I've been kind of covering the COVID story because, as Wong had mentioned, we had to change my segment a little bit because my segment was more about, things that are going on in Vegas, where you can go, open mics, things like that for artists. And unfortunately, right now, since we're all under quarantine, we're not allowed to be, running around and going to different places. So I have changed a little bit to be more like a little bit of a news source for you in regards to COVID and the coronavirus. So today I wanted to cover the stimulus package. And as we all know, the stimulus package did pass through Congress in the House. And so it was approved. And there's been a lot of information floating around. So I did a lot of research. I looked on the Social Security website, I looked on the IRS, I looked at a couple of news sources, and I did some research for you guys here to answer a few questions, just in case you did have some questions in regards to the stimulus checks that you're supposed to be expecting. So the first thing I want to cover is the amount of the stimulus, $300 per adult. So if you have a household of 2 adults, then you're going to get $2,400. And there's an additional $500 per child if your income is under $75,000. Now, if your income is above $75,000, the payment decreases in increment all the way up to $99,000. So if you make $99,000 as one single person, or you make $198,000 jointly, you file your taxes jointly, and you make $198,000, you won't receive a stimulus check. The payments. So the question that I was asked from somebody else was, when will the payments start to arrive? So according to the IRS, the first payments are due to be issued by direct deposit April 9th, which is just in a couple of days here. And following that, everyone who is capable of receiving a direct deposit should be receiving that by mid-April. So they're saying around the 15th of April, it should be received. If the IRS doesn't have your last tax information, they are, according to the website, sending a check to your last known address. So wherever your address was before, that's where they're going to send it. And those checks that are being mailed are being sent and being sent through September. So here's another question. The IRS does not have my direct deposit information. What can I do? In the coming weeks, according to the Treasury Department, they're going to be creating a web portal so that you can put your banking information into the IRS website. So let's say you haven't filed your 2019 or your 2018 taxes, but you want to make sure you can get a direct deposit. Once the web portal is open and there's no information as of now as to when that's going to be completed, I would just continue to check the irs.gov website. But when that does come up, you can go in there and put your direct deposit information and mail to you. Because as I said, the checks for mailing will be starting sometime at the end of April and going all the way until September. So if you need that money quickly, you'll want to get your information updated with the IRS. So here is another question. What do I have to do to receive the stimulus check? So if you filed your 2000 and your 2019 tax, or your 2018 or your 2019 taxes, you don't have to do anything. Whatever information you gave the IRS when you filed your taxes for your deposit, that's the information that they're going to use, and they are going to send it directly to those accounts, whatever account you have on file. If you haven't filed a tax return for 2018 or 2019, the IRS is going to pull your information from the Social Security office. So the Social Security office keeps track of all U.S. citizens, people with Social Security numbers, who, you know, whatever monies you make for every single year, they keep track of that so they know what your retirement looks like when you get to the Social Security age. So they will pull your information from there, and that's how they will know what your income is in order to mail you a check. What if my taxable income was too high to receive it for 2019? So if you made too much money in 2019, but now you're being affected because you had to close your business, or you aren't able to work, you got laid off from your job, you probably will not, if your income's too high, you won't be able to collect a check for for this stimulus, but you will get a tax credit on your 2020 taxes. So that's how you're going to get your credit for your loss of income for 2020. What if I'm divorced? Who receives the child payment? So the only parent that receives the child payment is the parent who does the filing. So if you're divorced and one of you has the tax filing for the child, that person will get the $500 payment. If you are on every other year, like me and my ex-husband used to be, then it will be the person who did the 2019 taxes, unless they're not filed, then it'll go back to the 2018 taxes. So hopefully, it'll work out that you can, figure that payment out. Do you have to pay income tax? You do not have to pay income tax on this. This money is not being taxed. You're not going to pay anything according to the IRS. Will my college age dependents receive it? No, actually, your college age dependents won't receive it, which is kind of a bummer with this particular stimulus package, because as a mom who helped put her child through college, I funded a lot of that. And so it was very, very expensive. And, it would have been helpful. I could see how it could be very, not helpful for people to not receive the money. If you have a child in college who's your dependent, you're paying for that person. So you should get a stimulus check also. But for some reason, I guess the couple comments that I read was that they had to push it so fast that they didn't include college age children. So children in college, even if they're your dependent, you will not get a $500 stimulus check for them. What if I receive Social Security income? If you receive Social Security income, you will receive a stimulus check. Even if you don't have to file taxes, and maybe you're disabled and you stay at home and you get a Social Security check every month, you will still be able to get the stimulus check because your income is going to be under $75,000, and they'll take that information from the Social Security office. If you have no taxable income and you're not required to file, again, you'll be able to file a simple form that's going to be provided by the IRS on the website, giving them your direct deposit information as well as your Social Security number and information like address, number of dependents, things like that, so they can figure out whether you get the check and where to send it. So the people who are going to be affected the most that are not, let's talk about who's not going to receive the stimulus check. So like I said, approximately the 20 million parents who are supporting their college students right now will not receive the additional $500. Parents of 17-year-olds, which I thought was really interesting. They're not giving a check even if you have a child living at home with you who's 17. So you will receive $500 extra for children who are 16 and below only. So anyone who's 17 years old, even if they're your dependent and they live in your household, just like your college student doesn't live in your household, but you're supporting all of their needs, you're not going to receive the extra $500. Any disabled adult who's being cared for by a parent or by, a dependent caregiver. So for instance, if my brother was disabled and I was caring for him and I was claiming him on my taxes, I would not receive a stimulus check for him. So there are some components really missing to this. There are some people who are not going to receive money who are definitely going to need it. Disabled people, college students, teenagers. I'm not sure why they would put 17-year-olds out. But also, if you had a baby who was born in 2020, you will not receive a $500 stimulus check for that baby. They have excluded the babies from 2020. The only way you'll get credit or get some sort of stimulus for the baby is filing your 2020 taxes with a $500 tax credit. So also, people who have any back payments. So if you are already being audited by the IRS, or you are already being garnished by the IRS, maybe for student loans or child support or whatever it may be, you will lose that money to the IRS. They will garnish that money. So that's pretty much all the information. I wish we had a live stream where I could ask people to call in or ask questions, so I could answer, any other questions they might have. But that's pretty much all the information that's out right now as far as like on the IRS and the Social Security website.
Great, great, great. So I do have one question, Mimi. You mentioned if you were being garnished by child support or student loans whatsoever, are you saying that the stimulus, your stimulus money is going to go to those sources, your student loan or
Right.
your
Yeah. And that's what it says.
child support or whatever?
If your Internal Revenue Service has you garnished for that, then yes, you will lose that stimulus money to whatever garnishments they're pulling from you. So if you're behind on your child support and your checks come, whatever direct deposit you have that would you normally would get your IRS taxes to or whatever, they'll take it before they send you whatever's left over. If there's any left over, they'll take it all. People who are behind on child support payments are not even receiving payments.
What? Wow. But that amount of money will go toward what they owe.
Correct.
Got it. Okay. So if you guys have questions, you can definitely email Mimi. Mimi, why don't you put your email address out there?
Yeah, you can send me any questions you have about COVID or anything you think you might want to hear about me talk about on the channel. Also, any subject matter or as far as COVID or coronavirus or the lifestyle or things that you can think of that you would want me to talk about, or you have additional questions about the stimulus package, you can email me at mimilifeentertainment@gmail.com. That's MIMILIFENTERTAINMENT@gmail.com.
All righty. So me for Mimi Life Entertainment is definitely giving out some really good information this evening. We hope that this has been helpful to you. When all of this is over, we will be going back to Mimi's regular segment, which is what popping in Las Vegas, which is a segment dedicated to local artists and so forth in that area. Mimi that, so we'll know what to expect when we do go back with this segment.
When we go back to the regular scheduled, the regular schedule for the show, What's Poppin' in Las Vegas, I want to talk about some of the shows that are going on in town that people are not seeing, maybe some of the artists who are out there who are really fantastic, who are doing shows in different places. Also some of the things for different artists, open mics, any big events that are going up, maybe with Show City or concerts that they're looking for artists to open for, anything that would give an artist an opportunity to get on stage, perform, and also just putting people out there, kind of advertising them, and saying, hey, go check this person out as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to as far as when we get back to the regular schedule.
Great, great. That is really get back to the regular schedule. And Lord, we just coming very soon. But I want to thank Mimi for hanging in here with me through these turbulent times. We were a little concerned about the title of the segment, but two creative people put their heads together and we still came up with some info that could definitely help our artists. So, Mimi, want to thank you once again, and we will see you next Monday right here
Yes,
on
ma'am.
Refocus Network on the Wong channel. And remember, next Monday we have Adam. Adam coming to be our
Oh,
artist,
nice.
and then Mimi is going to be back with more updates on the COVID-19. Yeah, and I do hope that we have better news next week, Mimi.
I hope so too. I really hope so too. All right. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll see you next week. Bye, y'all.
All right, so I'm going to say good night. Good night, Mimi.